Good morning. I know there's a few of you online now. I just want to give it maybe another 20, 30 seconds to let people filter in here, and then we'll kick off the program. Thank you. Okay, well, good morning. Again, I want to welcome everybody to the program this morning. This morning, I'll introduce our speaker. Our speaker is Jude Murray. Jude's the Executive Vice President with ENI. She's going to be covering the new AGC NextGen EAP program. Basically something we decided to do. We talked about it at our summer meeting this year. It encompasses a wide variety of programs to help employees navigate complex problems that can disrupt their personal and work lives. They're strictly designed to be confidential and designed to safeguard an employee's privacy while providing access to professional counseling services for help in confronting personal problems such as alcohol and substance abuse, marital and family difficulties, financial or legal troubles, and emotional distress, as well as providing concierge services, which can assist in creating a healthier work-life balance. AGC membership does receive preferred pricing for the program, so we'll turn it over to Jude, and she can explain to you a little bit about the program and the pricing from that standpoint.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Brendan and Carla. I appreciate you inviting me this morning, and thank you all for attending. AGC got a hold of me a while back and said that they wanted to provide something for their members that had some great value, and we worked together to design a program that we think brings a great deal of value to you and your employees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the benefit today. I'll move through it pretty quickly. There's a range of services that are going to be available. It's a pretty comprehensive benefit, and the pricing, of course, because everyone's always interested in that. So what I'll do is I'll move through it pretty quickly so that we have time at the end for questions. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I think Brendan said that there's the ability to type those questions in. So first of all, a little bit about me before I go into the statistics. ENI is a well-established EAP. It's been in business for 40 years. It started in Vestal, New York, and we still have an office here. I've been with them for almost 36 of those 40 years. So I've seen the evolution of EAPs and how they work and how they should work. My educational background is in nursing, and I always say I was a nurse in a previous life, in nursing and in mental health counseling. I'm also credentialed in Mental Health First Aid USA, which is a federally funded program to work with individuals. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about the construction industry and the suicide rate. They're actually ranked the second highest in the nation. 90% of the conditions are pre-existing, including depression, substance abuse, and misuse. And these aren't in any particular order. Anxiety and trauma. It's a high stress, deadline driven job. It's a male dominated industry, and we know statistically that suicide rates are higher in males than they are females. Separation from family, oftentimes due to travel, due to jobs that are located outside of where they might reside. It's cyclical work, so there's a financial stressor, and also there's a stigma that it might be a sign of weakness if someone asks for help. So we're going to try to address all of those with a benefit that is pretty comprehensive, as I said, and I'll go through the 8 pieces of this benefit. As I said, we were established in 1983 in upstate New York. We've never been purchased, merged, or acquired. We're privately held. The same gentleman, Gene Ramonde, that started the benefit, still is a CEO and president. And the importance of that, never purchased, merged, or acquired, is that we've always been able to use our own core values and follow what our mission is versus having to blend with another organization that might be see EAP delivery is different. We're a national and international provider. We cover about 4.5 million lives nationally and internationally in a variety of industries, banking industries, educational industries, construction industries. So we cover a wide variety of benefits for a wide variety of industries, and we tailor those for each industry that we work with. As I said, our corporate headquarters are in Vestal, New York. We also have offices in Rochester, New York, because we have a big footprint there. We've been there for many, many years. Raleigh, North Carolina, and San Francisco. We just opened an office in San Diego. In California, we have an office in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in Providence, Rhode Island. Our guiding principles are the same ones that we started with, and that is we deliver wow through extreme customer service. Oftentimes, my colleagues will cringe when I say this, but I truly believe that anyone can give you an EAP. It's just through the delivery of that makes the difference. The benefit has to be delivered in a significant way for it to be impactful and for people to use it. We like to practice excellence in process. Everything we do is processed so that people can look at what they can expect it, and then they can follow through and see that they will be treated the same each and every time they contact us. Our capabilities too, the exceptional customer service, that's really our key element. We spend a lot of time training our individuals. All the folks that deliver the service for us are our employees. They're located in our call center in Vestal, New York. And that exceptional customer service allows us to be a solution-based provider. We can provide solutions that are meaningful to the organization we're working with or the challenges that they might be facing. We're flexible and innovative. We actually develop and own all of our own software, so we're able to turn pieces of the benefit off or on if someone doesn't want a piece of that benefit to be reflected in their company's benefit. We're easily accessible, and that's real key to an EAP. It's got to be easy to get to, and it's got to be easy to use, or folks won't use it. We believe in vendor partnering. We think that we're a partner, so we need to understand the culture of an organization that we work with. What is the hierarchy? How do you communicate typically to your employees? So we need to be aware of all that information. We're a high-touch, high-tech provider. As I said, we have a very sophisticated data system and software system that we developed and own, but we also are readily available so that, as I said to Brendan and Carla, at the end of this, certainly provide my information. And if any of you have any questions, you can contact me directly. All of us answer our own phones. Our office phones are forwarded to our cell phones. We are a 24/7 operation, so we are available 24/7. HR technology platform, we believe that everything that goes on in someone's life is life event. So our technology is developed to address that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a while. What you're looking at right now is what our website and what our app on our phone looks like. They are replicate, they look and work exactly the same. So people don't have to learn two systems. And again, it's a life event technology. If there's something that goes on in your life, it very seldom is a singular event. It can encompass a variety of different things. We have 8 distinct benefits. The mental health counseling that most folks are familiar with, and that's up to 6 sessions with this benefit. There's a financial and a legal, a virtual concierge, a health advocacy, which is almost unheard of as a stand-in program added to an EAP. Typically, they're standalone programs, and they're very expensive. This one is included. There's a very robust wellness program, and I'll talk about how everyone has access to wellness counselors, our employees that are nationally credentialed. We have a very sophisticated e-learning system, which can be very important, particularly for smaller organizations, because e-learning or LMS platforms can be extremely expensive. And this is included, you are privy to over 350 different types of trainings. And then we have entertainment discounts just because they're fun and everybody likes a discount. Confidentiality is a key principle of our benefit. We are 100% HIPAA compliant. No information about the use of the EAP is ever reported unless we meet that federal threshold. And that is, of course, if someone is a threat to themselves, a threat to others, or the safety of a minor child is in question. When someone uses the EAP, that information is confidential with that person. The only time that would ever be divulged is if they signed a release of information and they wanted to share something with their employer, and it would be very specific as to what they would share, but nothing in terms of what goes on in the counseling is ever shared. Everyone always wants to know, who's eligible for the EAP, because it's important to know that your family is also privy to this benefit. By definition, we say that it's an employee's spouse or domestic partner. It can be dependent children up to the age of 26 because they're typically on the insurance. An employee's unmarried child, regardless of their age, if they reside with the employee and they're mentally or physically incapable of earning their own living. Now, we all live in the same planet, so we understand that families can be constructed differently, and that's important to us. That's key to us. It's also key to a good counseling benefit. So if you have stepchildren, if you have an elderly parent or parents living with you, if you're raising foster children or a niece or a nephew, whatever your household is comprised of, that's what your family will be looked at. That will be that dynamic. So when you call the EAP and you're looking for counseling, we always suggest you describe what does that dynamic look like? Because it doesn't have to meet the strict guidelines that are identified here. These are the guidelines that we follow, but we think it's important to engage everyone. And every benefit that I'm going to talk about, everyone in the family is privy to that. As I said, it's up to 3 professional short-term counseling sessions. And by professional, I mean that they are delivered by LMSWs or above, and that's licensed social workers, mental health social workers in the state that they provide the service for. And it can be for a variety of concerns, but it's not limited to this. These are some of the common ones we're aware of. It could be depression, or it could be denial, it could be grief, alcohol or substance abuse, certainly marital relations, but it doesn't have to be any of those. Sometimes folks will call us up and they'll say, you know, I don't know what's wrong. I just don't feel engaged with my family. I'm missing a lot of work. I don't feel like going to work. I'm not sleeping well. I'm not eating well. It could be a variety of things. It's important that someone calls. It's not important for them to sort it all out. That's what we're there for, and that's what the counselors are there for, and they're very adept at doing that, of course. We also provide in the moment counseling, or that mental health first aid. And because we are a 24/7, we answer our phones live, and mental health professionals answer the phones for us in our call center in Vestal. If someone calls in and they just need to talk to someone at that moment, they can do that. And that's really key, because oftentimes people will feel that they need to talk to someone, but if they can't get a hold of someone, then they kind of shelf it and they don't deal with it. And then it kind of builds up and builds up. So they never get the real appropriate counseling that they need. All the sessions are with mental health professionals, and that's for each separate issue that arises during a calendar year. So I always say to people, you know, it's 6 professional short-term counseling sessions per issue. So if someone has 5 issues per year, then they can use 5 different sessions with up to 6 sessions of counseling. Don't save up for one big issue, but use it as often as you need to. If it looks like it's going to be something that's long-term, we also have a way to address that, and I'll talk about that. This is for each family member, so it's not 6 sessions per family. It's 6 sessions of unlimited counseling per individual. So if you have 1 person in your family or 10 people, everyone is privy to use it as often as they need to for up to those 6 sessions. It can be delivered telephonically, live video, or face-to-face. All those options are available, and it really is up to the discretion of the individual. If someone says, you know, I really want to meet with someone face-to-face, then we facilitate that. We have a network over 42,000 counselors nationally, so we're able to facilitate that very easily. If it is a matter of time, and they say, you know, I would rather do it telephonically to start because I know I can make a quick phone call during the day and talk to someone for 35 minutes versus driving someplace and then meeting with them, then we're able to do that as well. Or live video, as we're doing now. As I said, we have counseling providers in every state in the United States. We cover an entity for an organization of 600,000 employees. So we have ample counseling coverage. Also, if someone is not in the state that they reside when they want to get the counseling, that is perfectly all right as well. A good example is if you have a son or a daughter that's in college in Colorado and they want to access counseling, they can do it where they're at. They don't need to be in the state that they reside in. Also with the video counseling and the telephonic, it's unlimited. You can have video counseling with anyone across the country, of course. It's easy to contact us. You can call the 1-800 number. It's the 1-800-327-2255. You can text that number, or you can go through the web portal, www.nextgeneap.com. If it were me, I would call. We call it age and stage. It has everything to do with what person is most comfortable with. If it were my 31-year-old son, I'm confident he would text to get the appointment. And someone else might go through the website. Referrals be made in the same way that an individual contacts us. And the importance is if they're comfortable texting to get an appointment, there'll be a short intake that's done. Everyone has that done. And then the information can be provided to them in the same way so that they can look at their text and get it. Or they can call me back if I'm the one that's calling, or it can be posted on the web portal. So it has to be barrier-free. It has to be appropriate for the person who wants the counseling in whichever way that works best for them. We'll also assist individuals if they need to go to long-term counseling. An example would be if someone called in and they were feeling depressed and they were assessed, and it was determined by the mental health professional that it really wasn't depression mild, but it was depression major. That's a long-term issue. That's not going to be resolved within up to 6 sessions. So the professionals will determine that, and then they will find someone. We typically use community-based people, but it doesn't have to be that. If there's someone in the community that individuals have had good luck with before and they want that person to be part of our network, then we'll vet them for that. We have a team that vets the network, and that's their full-time job. They look at the network to make sure that folks are appropriately licensed, also that they are in an appropriate location. They're not on their back deck with a dog barking trying to provide counseling. They have no legal liens or obligations that would prevent them from providing the counseling. We also look to make sure that the employee's health insurance will cover it, because we don't want to create another financial issue for them if they already have some issues around that. So it's a very streamlined process. We are able to do that very quickly. Also, the counseling is provided very quickly. We have no waiting lists. It typically is the individual that needs to wait to get that scheduled within their schedule. We always follow up 2 days after this information is provided to make sure that the individual was able to get a hold of the counselor and schedule an appointment. Now, there's always a case too where if someone goes to a counselor and they say, you know, it's just not clicking for me, nice person, but I don't feel comfortable with them, then we will find another counselor for them, because it's important they feel comfortable with that. We're also very sensitive to the LGBTQ community, so we provide counseling for that specific request as well. Or if someone says, you know, I want to see a female counselor, I want to see a male counselor, I want to see a marital counselor, whatever their specific request is, that's what we provide for them, because again, it should be barrier-free counseling. The health advocacy benefit is very, very robust. Members can submit health advocacy requests to obtain assistance on a variety of challenges surrounding healthcare. And it might be something like, I need an insurance card. I can't find my insurance card, or my husband lost his, or my wife lost hers. Might be a question about prescription drug coverage. Are there any coupons that might help? Are there generic drugs that I can talk to my physician about? It might be a billing or a claims issue. If it's a billing issue, I can tell you that the folks that we have providing this in our call center, the health advocates, they are experts in this. They are licensed professionals in a variety of insurance levels. They don't provide insurance advice, nor do they sell insurance. They simply have a good working knowledge of how insurance works. Because we've done this benefit for about 14 years now, we're able to provide great contact with an insurance company. So we will contact the insurance company on the behalf of the individual. If they ask us to do that, we will call with them on the line so that they can be part of that conversation. But the insurance companies are very happy to work with us, and we work with almost all the major companies across the United States. The health advocacy request can be submitted by calling that 1-800 number. And as you'll notice, there's just one number to contact us, which keeps things simple. And that's 1-800-327-2255. Or they can go online, www.nextgeneap.com, and submit their request that way. There's also follow-up with each one of the requests so that people don't simply submit it and think that they're forgotten about, because they're not. It's easy to access this. Again, you can call the toll-free number. You can log into the web portal or the mobile app, which are replicate. They look and act very much the same way. So I'll talk about that in a bit. You can submit your request. You can view closed requests, or you can review pending requests. We saved over $2.8 million for our members last year in inappropriate billing, double billing, just inappropriate submission. One of the things that'll happen a lot of times is somebody goes to the ER and they don't recognize, because it's a traumatic situation typically, that they have to contact their insurance within so many hours, say 24 hours, so that they will get coverage for that. Sometimes they miss that step and the bill will come to them. So we'll help them resolve that. And again, this is unlimited. You can use it as often as you want to. Everyone in the family can. Everyone gets a virtual concierge. That's a benefit information specialist. And they're work-life specialists. I call them human search engines. And they can provide information on a variety of topics. It might be vacation planning. That's obviously a hot ticket item during the summer. Event planning was huge post-COVID because people were trying to reschedule weddings and bar mitzvahs and showers and such. Childcare is always a hot topic, and elder care, particularly people reemerging back into the workforce. That might be a real consideration that they need to look at what's available and what's affordable. So we can do major life events or just day-to-day things. And again, it's unlimited. You can contact them as often as you need, and you can either call the 1-800 number, 327-2255, or you can access the virtual concierge portal on www.nextgeneap.com. Everyone gets legal consultation, and that's 1 30-minute phone or in-person consult at no cost. And that's per separate issue per year with a licensed attorney. If you call us, we can warm transfer you to the firm that we work with. It's a national firm, or you can call them directly yourself if you choose. And it's for a variety of things. It might be wills, or it might be a custody matter. If it's something that can be resolved in that short-term 30-minute phone call, it will be. If it's something that's more in-depth, like a custody matter or typically a divorce, then you can retain an attorney in your local environment. It can be wherever you choose it to be, and that's at the individual's cost. The employer or the EAP are not responsible for that. It's at a discounted rate, however, and it can be, you can schedule the appointments again by going through the website or calling us. It's important to note that E&I will not provide any legal assistance for any legal matter that involves a lawsuit or legal action against the employer. So if someone calls in and it looks like it's going that way, we'll tell them that we cannot support them with that because we are partnered with you, and we suggest that they get legal consultation outside of this benefit. And again, if they hire the attorney, that's at a discounted rate, and that is at no additional cost to us. And it's not the firm that provides a service for us, because that would be kind of like double dipping. They would refer everyone to themselves probably, but we don't do that. We have people in the network that provide that for them, that are vetted by this organization. Everyone gets financial consultations, and it used to be 60 minutes. We upped it about 3 years ago at the onset of COVID because people were really using this a lot, to 90 minutes. And it's with a financial professional. That's at no cost. And again, it's per separate issue per year, so it's unlimited for every employee and their family members. And it can be on a variety of things. It might be debt management. Student loans are causing a great deal of confusion now. So people will call often about that and ask, what should I do? Should I pay it? Should I wait? Should I wait to see what the Biden administration is going to do? Where's that law at right now? And also housing counseling, because it looks hopefully that the housing prices are coming down a bit and that market might begin to open up again. So housing counseling is also a very big ticket item currently with our book of business. If you want additional consultation, and it might be something like, I want to get into a debt management program, then that is at a discounted but additional cost, and that's the cost of the employee, at the cost of the employee, not the EAP or not the employer. Telephonic appointments are made at the member's convenience by calling again the 1-800-327-2255 or going to the web portal, which is www.nextgeneap.com. We have a very robust wellness program. We look at wellness. Used to be wellness was based on biometrics, height, weight, smoking, blood pressure. Those things are all still very important, but that's not what we focus on. We focus on fitness, financial, emotional, spiritual, stress, nutrition, relationships and social health, clinical health, lifestyle, work-life balance, of course, and rest and recovery. So when someone calls in, they can have unlimited coaching calls with a nationally credentialed coach, again, that works in our headquarters in Vestal, New York. And they can call once per week. And this is for everyone in the family. So if you have one person in the family or 10 people, they can each call individually and get coaching from these individuals. And it might be on a variety of things. It might be they start out by saying, you know what, I think maybe I need to look at getting more exercise because I'm not sleeping well. And we'll talk about, well, what's going on? Why are you not sleeping well? Well, I have financial stress, or I have difficulty with my adolescent child. And so once they start to talk about that, then we review all the benefits with them. So they recognize that, you do have a financial benefit. You do have access to short-term counseling, and that counseling can be adolescent counseling specific, or marital counseling if that's causing issues in your marriage. You also can talk to a financial or legal advisor anytime you choose to, if you think that that will help you. So there's a variety of ways that we engage them into all of the 8 benefits that we have. If it's something to do with a medication, perhaps with an adolescent child, if they're on a medication and the cost is just skyrocketed, then we can help them with that through the health advocacy benefit. So there's a variety of things that can be done to make sure that this benefit is successful in a variety of ways. We also have mindfulness training. We have an individual who's Stanford trained, who's on our staff, and they talk about mental resilience or cognitive skills or emotional management tools. There's quarterly live master classes on mental wellness and mindfulness that are available. They're free and they are live, and they're available to anyone who wants to sign up and participate that day. There's also a video content library that's full of educational videos on a variety of mental wellness. And then there are a variety of exercises for the mind. It might be trying to relax before sleep, or it might be trying to reduce stress. We believe that the EAP should be a holistic benefit, and it should support mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical wellness, not just one piece of that, but all of that. The e-learning resources, as I said, we have an online LMS system that's an interactive training course, and it has tools to promote personal and professional development. It's available in English and Spanish, and there are a variety of topics. It might be time management or effective communication, conflict resolution, certainly wellness, mental and physical wellness. It's available 24/7, and it's on our website, www.nextgeneap.com. It can be used in a variety of ways. Some organizations will use it as part of their annual review with their employees. They'll assign different categories, or people can take it on their own. Once they do, they will print out a certificate at the end of it, and they can send that to their HR department, or they can keep the certificate for themselves if they choose. But it's very, very robust, and it's on a variety of topics. Like I said, there are 350 of them. So people like to go in and look around to see what's available. And again, it's available to everyone in the family. We look at benefit capabilities, and the benefit components are created so that they are integrated. And synergy, which is kind of an overused word, I think, but it kind of describes what we're talking about, so that you can use all 8 benefits at the same time if you choose, if they meet your needs. So we want everyone to know that it's not just a counseling program. That's part of it, and that's a good part of it, but there's also many other beneficial pieces of that benefit. Entertainment discounts simply because they're fun. People like them. You can get up to 60% off on certain categories. And we partnered with Working Advantage for this. Their entertainment discounts, and some of them are up to 60% off. There's also shopping and gifts, which will become a hot ticket item with the holidays approaching. Theater and events, all kinds of sporting events. You can get great discounts on those. Certainly when Broadway opened back up in New York, that was a very busy time for us because people wanted tickets to the shows. And then individuals can earn rewards. And they like to do that because then they can sign those points back to what they want to choose, whether that be a sporting event or a shopping for something. The member portal, which I've talked about, the www.nextgeneap.com. It's very intuitive and simple to use. It says log in or register, and the first line says company ID or group ID. Everyone will get a member guide, PDF of a member guide, and there will be one number for everyone in the organization. Once they get that number, they can simply come in and put that number in here. For simplicity, let's say it's 1234. They put that group ID or company ID number in there and they never have to use it again. Then they enter their first and last name and they hit next. Then they can register with their own username and password. And again, everyone in the family is privy to this. So they all have their own sites to use. The mobile app works exactly the same way and it looks exactly the same. And so you can access all your total well-being benefits 24/7, 365 on your phone. You know, and it's the old thing, if it's not on your phone, it doesn't exist. Everybody depends on their phone, particularly people in this industry because they travel, they're away from home. They may not have a laptop in front of them, but typically they all have iPhones or phones. So it's available on iTunes through the App Store and Google Play, of course. And you can submit virtual concierge requests. You can get entertainment discounts and many of the other benefits. You cannot obtain counseling through this. Obviously, you need to follow the standard process for that so that you can have an intake done to make sure that you're in a safe situation. So here's a summary of the benefits. And as I said, I gave you an awful lot of information today. There's the counseling services, the health advocacy, the virtual concierge, the legal consultations, and the financial consultations. Everyone will get 1 hour of CISD. Every organization will get 1 hour of CISD, or that's critical incident stress debriefing if there's a traumatic situation. And the employer determines what's a traumatic situation. We don't make that determination for you. And then you simply call the 1-800 number and we dispatch an individual or individuals that are trained in trauma counseling. 1 hour of professional training, and that's aside from the LMS system or the learning system that we provide. It can be on a variety of topics, whatever you choose it to be. There's the mindfulness, the wellness, the e-learning resources, and the entertainment discounts. We also like to increase awareness. The best EAP is one that somebody uses, and the only way they're going to use it is if they're aware of it. So we provide unlimited employee orientations. We typically do that via video or via a recording. We provide the recording after we provide the orientation so that you can use it for onboarding with new employees. We also do supervisory trainings, and that's to teach supervisors how to use it as a tool so they stay on good legal ground. So a lot of times in a smaller organization, people will be very close and friends, which is fine, but they might be giving personal information to a supervisor, and the supervisor might be advising them on that. And that can be a slippery slope because it can set a company up for some liability. So we talk about supervisors knowing that the EAP is available and how they can refer their employees to that if they choose. We do have mandated referrals. Mandated referrals means that if a supervisor, and oftentimes this is how it works, a supervisor or an employer will call and say, you know what, I have an employee and they are of great value, so I don't want to terminate them. It's just that there seems to be something going on. They're missing a lot of time. They don't seem real engaged at work. So I would like to have them go to the EAP. How do I go about that? So we have a whole process for that, where a mandated referral simply means that we sit down with the employer and the employer and talk with them both. That can be telephonically or via video, and say to them, the EAP is available to you. If your supervisor would like you to go, you sign a release of information that says that we, the E&I, can confirm that you did in fact attend one session or two sessions, whatever the employer chooses, but nothing about that session is ever divulged. And then the employer and the employee then can work together to get back in the place they want to be in terms of the employment of that individual. We do managerial consultations. If an employer has an issue that they want to talk to us about, we're more than happy to talk to them about that. And we have staff that's trained particularly in doing these consultations. We do targeted campaigns, and that's a campaign that would come via posters or flyers on a topic that might be of interest to the organization. We also cover different pieces of the benefit. If we see that utilization is low, then we will target an area that we think will bring some interest to the employees so that they will begin to look at the EAP and use it. We provide a monthly newsletter that has 2 monthly newsletters that have a variety of information on them. And it might be information like summer sun safety, or driving in the winter, or something like that, recipes, something like that. It's just to get their interest. And then we would highlight something about one of our employees, or maybe an organization that we're working with. We think ongoing promotions are the key to a positive program. As I said, the posters, we would ask them to be placed in appropriate places or sent via email or text to an employee if they're off site, of course. Call cards, which are the size of credit cards, we print them literally in the hundreds of thousands. So anytime you ask for those, we're more than happy to provide those. We like to do a home mailing every other year. We like to do it in the envelope from the organization that they are employed at, because people tend to look at those and read them. And the home mailing allows the family members to be privy to the benefit and how it works. You'll have a dedicated account manager. That manager will be your one point of contact. You can call that person directly and they will respond directly to you. So you don't have to talk to 5 people to try to get the information that you want. I am also available. If you have questions, you will have my contact information. Feel free to contact me as well. There will be annual service reports that will be provided for each individual organization that will talk about the metrics and the trends. We talk about VOI and we talk about ROI. VOI is value on investment, and that's what is the value of this benefit for your organization, for your employees. ROI is dollarable, measurable, dollars, which we can provide, but VOI is actually even more important, because your employees should appreciate that you're providing this benefit. It's an additional benefit at no cost to them and their family members. And also there's the value that the employer will get once they start to use it. As I said, we have one toll-free phone number for all our services. The web portal is www.nextgeneap.com. The mobile app is NextGen EAP. We are a 24/7 entity, and we are 100% confidential. These are the professional fees for the organization and their size. We dollarize this at a great discount to what we typically sell in our book of business. For 1 to 50 employees, it's $1.95 per employee per month. And then, as you can see, from 51 to 100, from 101 to 150. Anything over 250, you can call us for a quote. And the PEPM, remember, is per employee per month, and that includes all of the family members. There is no minimum requirement. There is no setup fee. If at any time an organization wants to get out of the contract, there's simply a 60-day notice. There's nothing that will tie you into that contract. Simply a 60-day notice to tell us that you are going to be terminating that contract, and that we will continue to counsel the folks that are already in counseling. Most of our clients are very long-term clients. As I said, we've done this for a long time. We've worked with some organizations for over 30 years. Certainly in New York State, we're well entrenched, but we have folks all over the United States. Any questions for me?
So far, I don't see any questions. Does anybody have any any questions at this point?
I always say if there's no questions, I either did a very good job or I baffled everyone and they don't know what to ask me.
Nothing yet. Well, nobody has typed them in so far, or we have any questions. I mean, again, we can certainly make sure we pass along. We have everybody's contact information. We can pass that along. Jude's information to you. You can certainly shoot her an email. Any questions you might have, and 800 numbers there as well. So if you have any questions, you can go that route. Well, Jude, I want to thank you for the presentation today. We did record the presentation, so if you do have any other staff that are interested or you think might want to see this, please let us know. We'll make sure we post it on our site, and you can take a look at it when you get a chance.
Well, thank you, obviously, for this opportunity. And as I said, I provided a great deal of information today, so you may not be able to formulate the questions quite yet, but if you have those, certainly feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to answer them. And I look forward to working with all of you.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Carla.
Okay. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.